Invictus, my kings, and welcome back to another part of the what if Hellenic Rome survived? Yes, until 1444, and while the coalition is disbanding very slowly, I thought I'd just have a little bit of a cheeky war against the Mamluks while we're waiting for the actual coalition to disband. So let's call in Castile, Poland, let's wait for the diplomat, and let's go. It should be a relatively straightforward war. Nothing too shocking or revolutionary or anything about it. We just want to take a lot of Anatolia. Looks like a lot of people are leaving the coalition anyway, but wanna take what the Mamluks have captured from the Ottomans in Anatolia, give it to our Byzantine vassal or our Eastern Roman vassal, and we also want to, well, we want to capture Alexandria, obviously, because we do have actually some reclaim Hellenic worship sites decision, but we have Rome, Athens, and Thessaly, but we don't have Alexandria, and this is gonna probably give us some sort of bonus or something. So I think capturing Alexandria is where it's at for us at the moment. We have a new heir. Yes, that was an heir. He isn't very good, so too bad we don't have an heir. Too bad, but we do have a new government reform which we could take, and I think I'm gonna go with military engineering for the barrage cost. I tend to barrage quite a bit, so let's test it out right away. Yep, there we go. I tend to barrage quite a bit, so the cost for artillery is gonna be very helpful indeed. Well, because we have a lot of artillery, and I plan on having even more artillery in the future. So there we go. We still haven't embraced colonialism, though. How far is it spreading? It's spreading. Okay, so we'll wait with that for colonialism. We'll wait. There we go. Alexandria is captured. The Mamluks, I haven't seen any of their armies yet, but hopefully they're somewhere out here. Corfu has left. A lot of people are leaving the coalition. Thank the heavens. Thank the gods for that. Oh, there we go. We looted Damascus. Okay, Damascus has been looted. Very sad. Our units need a little more discipline, it seems. Oh well. Oh well, what can you do? Point new diplomats. Everything seems to be going swimmingly, so yeah, I'll come back when you have the peace deal. A new heir. Okay, this one's a little better. Not very gifted in the again, another imperatrix, Anastasia. Religion Hellenic, culture Roman, very nice. Same dynasty as the Byzantines, the Palaigos. Not the best in admin, but relatively okay in everything else. Military is gonna be pretty good. Military pips are gonna be pretty good. I think I'd like a more balanced ruler than just a 146, but the claim is strong, so there probably won't be any. Yeah, let's just go with her. Whatever. Let's not waste prestige while we need it for conquering. Okay, the war has been basically won, so let's transfer some occupations here in Anatolia to the Byzantines, because why not? It's something that they should hold. And let's go for Alexandria. Let's just capture the coast here. Maybe we want to just split the difference a little bit like this. Yeah, I think that's fine. Some money. Bam, there we go. The Mamluks have been humbled, and we can now reclaim Hellenic worship sites. After years of hard-fought wars, we have successfully reclaimed the important signs of our worship for the Hellenic faith. When our nation initially proclaimed to the world our return to the old ways, many scoffed and wrote of our claims. Now with these sites under our control, we can declare the pantheon restored, and any who still scoff at us are now not worth our time. The old gods have returned, and this time for good. Missionary strength, torrents of heretics, torrents of heathens. Missionary strength plus 5% is actually really good. We now have 12%. That means we can basically, well, we can convert anything that we want, really. It's, who can we rival? Only Poland, and I don't want to rival Poland because they're our allies. They are our allies, so let's not rival anyone for the time being, it's fine. Next on the chopping block is, Austria is still in the coalition, so we'll probably have to go against Hungary and capture the Adriatic coast. Yes, indeed. Alright, here we go. Time to go to war against Hungary. Let's just take Istria, for example, and let's get a move on. Yes. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll feed all the cores that Dalmatia has. We'll feed it to them, and then we'll capture the rest, like Croatia and stuff like that. We'll capture for ourselves, because after all, Hungary, half of Hungary is a part of the former Roman Empire territory, which was lost, unfortunately. But which we will regain very shortly here. No worries about that. We will reclaim the old borders. And yeah, and at the moment Hungary is even at war with Bohemia. So I'm not entirely sure what the Bohemians, morale of armies plus 10%, what the Bohemians will get from them, but Probably the entirety of Nitra, or Slovakia more rather, if I'd have to bet. But for the time being, there's nothing really to worry about. We can just outweight the Bohemians, whatever they're doing. Look at France. France is a complete mess. But we can just outweight the war, and honestly I doubt that the Bohemians will want to go for the Adriatic coastline anyway. That's something that we are interested in, but the Bohemians probably aren't. So while we are competing in a sense against the Hungarians of who can capture more, that doesn't really mean a whole lot for us at the moment. We'll just have to bear with it. And general, and I got a call to arms from the Bohemians right before they started their war, but I declined to start my own war because I really didn't want to wait for another couple of years for a truce. For there to be a truce against the Hungarians, it would be majorly annoying. So I just decided to go ahead and declare my own war. Dealing with rebels, and let's see, we can go to admin tech 10. Very nice, a new group of ideas. So let's immediately go for a mill one, because we do need some mill. And let's go offensive. Are we close to getting the next mill tech? Yes, we are. So we'll wait until we get the next mill tech, and then we'll start doing the offensive ideas, so we can finally get to Imperium Sine Fine. Core creation costs -25%, years of separatism -5%. It's really good. So when we get to that, that'll be swell. Bohemians have captured Lika, so they are standing in our way more or less. Looks like we maxed out on, okay, so it seems like we're gonna have to go a little bit into the ideas. Let's see, who are we actually at war with? Bremen. We can probably piece out Bremen. Let's just do autonomous sieging, because with these HRE miners, I'm not entirely sure where each of them is located. I don't feel like finding out, so let's just put them on autonomous sieging, and let's let the soldiers decide where they want to go. Okay, it looks like the Bohemians, whoa, the Bohemians have taken a large chunk of Hungary. So eventually we're gonna have to go up against the Bohemians as well, which is kind of sad, but the Poles have also taken a bunch of stuff from Hungary. See, this is what happens to Hungary when they don't fall into a personal union with Austria. But we have weakened the Austrians so much that with our little did we have 1 or 2 excursions into Austria? I think only 1, so maybe we haven't actually weakened them that much. It's just that the RNG of the game didn't work out too well for the Austrians. But anyway, here we are, Hungary. Let's return course to Dalmatia. Here we go, and let's take the rest of Croatia for ourselves, and that'll be fine. There we go. Very good peace deal, very good peace deal. There we go, and we can already complete the mission. Take the Littoral. Italy controls many ports on the Adriatic, but many other realms control many other ports on that great sea as well. It would be prudent for us to secure the coastline and prevent interlopers from encroaching upon our waters. Yes, indeed. We get a bunch of permaclaims and trade power 40 for a while. Cross the Pindus. Okay, this is about Greece. Reclaiming Latin legacy until the end of the game. Governing capacity plus 100. Lose 1 war exhaustion, gain 20 prestige. Our hold on the Adriatic Sea will not be secure as long as there is a great hinterland full of strife. It is only under our rule that there can be peace, and so we must set forth and bring these war-torn lands under our industrious governance. Very true, very true. And there we go. Reclaiming our Latin heritage. Centuries ago, our ancestors attempted to mend the Great Schism and assert dominance over the heart of the Eastern Roman world. They succeeded for a time, but gradually their power waned and their domains fell. It is time we tried again. Modify reclaiming Latin legacy by governing capacity plus 50, tolerance of the true faith plus 1. Constantinople gets Constantinople taken. Bunch of bonuses, very good. So we completed a bunch of missions. We have a bunch of new government capacity, so we can really blob out a whole bunch now. I can even start making core territories out of, for example, our African holdings. That would actually be very prudent, so we can even increase our manpower and increase our cash flow a little bit, because at the moment we have sort of stalled at which is a decent amount, like 60, 61, 62 is a very, very decent amount, but it would be better for it to be even bigger. Now anyway, let's go to war with Austria now. Okay, so let's get this party started against Austria. Declare war. Let's pick something close like Gertz, or however you pronounce it. There we go, Gertz. Poland, Bourbonnais, that's a name I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing. Castile. All of them can pile on, why not? It's gonna be wonderful. Let's go immediately for Vienna with 60k, or actually let's go for something like this. It's gonna be much better. And because we are now blessed by Mars himself, we now can just absolutely wreck the enemy armies, just completely humiliate them. And in this war we will be aiming to take well, what's it called, Inner Austria. There we go, another 10% morale of armies, absolutely wonderful. We have so many military bonuses stacked right now, but our truce with France ended, but I think next up we will actually go to war with England, maybe even break our alliance with Castile and go for Castile and focus more on the west, because we have been really focusing on the east a little too much. Not that that's a bad thing, at least the eastern flank is completely secured, but we do want to focus on the west a little bit as well. We are playing the remnants of the Western Roman Empire after all, and now we can take military tech 10, enables a bunch of stuff, and diplomatic tech 10 as well, so everything should be in order. Let's do the Pedro or however you pronounce it for the time being. I think that's fine. And lots of Lots of events, so yeah, the national unrest is 2, -2 is pretty good, and we want monthly autonomy change minus. That's what we want, that's what we'll get. Let's go autonomous sieging for this guy, and let's get -25 government progress, because why not? And let's also call in Denmark, because they can be a little useful as well. They can siege the northern provinces, Vienna, and there we go. The age of Reformation is upon us, and I think we should have some, yeah, convert 10 provinces and unify culture. We have both of those, so let's get this ball rolling. Who are we at war with, actually? We are at war with a bunch of people, but our wonderful allies and vassals should take care of a lot of it. Extend loan. And let's get these guys on autonomous sieging, because, well, it's what we do. Let's see if we can piece out some of these wayward Austrian allies. The 3 leagues, no, we can't, unfortunately. But let's just check what we want. So we want Tyrol. Obviously, we want Tyrol, and we want the connecting provinces. There we go, something like this. We want something like this. Maybe we could push for even more, but that's way too much aggressive expansion. But even this is quite a bit. But yeah, we can already take the peace deal. So let's take the peace deal. And here we go. Redeem Tirolo. Tyrol, as the Germans call it, is a great alpine territory, on the one that has served as the crossroads for the bastion of many great empires, including the Romans. Some of our people still live amongst these mountains, particularly the south. If we secured these lands, we would be bringing more Italians into the fold and giving ourselves a great defensive line in the north. And we get infantry combat ability for 20 years plus 10%, and gain 10 army tradition. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. And we probably want to go to war with England right after, to be honest, to capture these French territories that they're holding. Oh, we have a 100% overextension, so let's immediately declare war on Britain for Toulouse. There we go, Toulouse, calling Denmark, and calling Brittany with the promise of land. Not that we're gonna give them any land. And let's see if we could possibly concentrate some development over here, just so we are not overextended. Yep, there we go. We are not overextended anymore, and the military coalition is back up and running. Unfortunately, but what can you do? We gotta expand. We just have to expand. It's in our nature. We're the Romans. We have to expand. Not that the military coalition is gonna do anything to us, mind you. They are just gonna sit there and think that they are doing something, when in reality they're not doing a damn thing. But Burgundy, even Burgundy, but Burgundy is basically a nothing burger anymore, so it doesn't matter. We can go for admin. Yeah, we can go for admin. The coalition grows. We can call in Castile, and after this war I think I'll dissolve my alliance with Castile, because we need another route of expansion, and the Castilian lands are ripe for the taking. Again, another crusade. Man, the Catholics are not taking it too well. Okay, Brittany has been pieced out almost immediately. Well, but it was a nice distraction for a little while, I guess. For a little while it was a nice distraction. Let's see how the religious map mode looks. So the Protestant Reformation is on, up and going, and the Hussites still be Hussiting. It's like even the Polish are Hussites. Yeah, the Polish are Hussites. Would never think that something like that would happen. Interesting. Well, but there's the Center of Reformation, obviously, the Hussite Center of Reformation, so it converted a bunch of the Polish lands. Let's set these people to autonomous sieging, and let's see what kind of great victory we managed to grab from the dastardly English. Yes. Okay, so the war is going pretty well, but it's time to peace out, time to grab all the southern French territories, and let's get some war reps going, let's get some of their money, and let's maybe annul some treaties with Sweden, for example. That would be a good treaty to annul. Bam, there we go. And now it's time to break our alliance with Castile, because they have begun to be hostile towards us. So time to break the alliance, and we will have to expand into Castilian lands as well pretty soon, so that so that we have another route of expansion, which is going to serve us very well, I think. But yeah, for the time being, until our truce with the Mamluks ends, we will probably just chill out a little bit and then go back to war with the Mamluks, unite the eastern part of the Mediterranean so that we have full envelopment of these areas, and then go to war with Castile, go to war with France, rinse and repeat. And yeah, basically that's that. Alright, so our truce with the Mamluks has just ended. Our our Imperatrix Anastasia I came of age, so now we have a ruler. And I decided to become, I decided to go for the blessing of Jupiter for core creation cost and aggressive expansion impact, which is something that we're going to be struggling with mightily. But let's just go. Let's go for Adana, for example. Bam. No need to call any allies. This is going to be a swift war. This is going to be extremely quick. We will crush all comers. And then after the Mamluks, let's see how long the truce with Castile is. With Austria, Baden, truce with Portugal. Oh, so we can just go to war with them. So there's no truce anymore. Okay. Well, after the war with the Mamluks, let's go to war with Castile and grab a bunch of the Spanish territory that we need as well. So yeah, the Mamluks seem to be focusing mostly on the south here, which is where we have some provinces, some unguarded provinces, but it doesn't really matter. We will just siege them out, and yeah, let's construct a bunch of these but what would you call it? They are courthouses, not town halls. Town halls are the next ones. Yeah, so a bunch of courthouses so we can occupy more and go to war more. Never mind, we can't proceed that way. We need first to siege down the forts. And after we siege down all these forts, I think eventually we'll just completely crush the Mamluks. They have nothing. Has converted to Protestant, really? You should be Hellenic, not Protestant or Catholic. What the hell? What the hell? Okay, so they managed to defeat my rebel stomping army, which is just fine. It's just whatever. It doesn't really matter. But we need to get rid of their armies, and when we get rid of their armies, then we can crush all of them. Let's see. There we go. Absolutely blessed battle. Completely crushed the enemy. There we go. That's how it should be. Okay, the war has been won, and now we can just transfer the occupation of all these wonderful provinces to Byzantium. And let them deal with that nonsense while we capture the rest. We captured the rest of the holdings. Cannot make it a core. Very sad. But let's just do something like this. Grab some of their money. Bam, there we go. It was actually a pretty brutal war. The enemy had a lot of troops. We got stack wiped actually, in the middle of doing all of this, and I forgot about Cyprus. Oh well, we'll get Cyprus next time. Maybe they'll rebel. Hopefully they'll rebel. Probably not, though. Invade Egypt. Our domains may stretch far, but venerable Egypt still remains beyond our grasp. The rich lands would be a gateway to the east and lucrative trade of Asia and Africa. And we get Alexandrian ambition, reconquest of Africa, plus 50 governing capacity, and plus 10% galley compatibility. That's pretty good. And then some random dev. That's pretty decent, actually. These rewards from the Italian mission tree are sometimes a little insane. But well, if it works, it works in our if it works in our benefit, then it works. There's no two ways about it. And here we go. It's time to declare war on the Spanish, or more rather the Castilians. So let's immediately head forward with our units, and let's start sieging them. Who can we call? We can call in Denmark, and we can call in the Commonwealth. Very nice. This means that we also lost our alliance with Portugal, but that's fine because they are they're basically next on the chopping block, so that's completely fine. Let's go straight for their capital. Because we own Catalonia, they didn't actually have the ability to form Spain, which is a little funny to me, but we basically cucked them out of being able to form Spain, which, well, what can you do? That's just how the world works, doesn't it? So this war, I think it should be relatively quick. Most of the Spanish armies should be somewhere around in the New World as per usual, but we'll see. I guess we'll see. This little siege. Let's actually start converting cultures into Roman. Let's start converting cultures to Roman, just so we have a nice Roman Empire. But the war itself against Castile will be very quick, I think. The only issue against Castile whenever you play someone who's taking on Castile or Spain is that how the hell do you get more war score, because a lot of their holdings are in the colonial domains around the New World. As you can see, they have Castilian Brazil, and I'm willing to bet there's a whole bunch more. There's Portuguese or Rio de Prata, so there's probably a whole bunch of other. There goes Los Andes more rather. So there's it's going to be a little bit of a pain to try and get war score against the Spanish, but we'll manage. Alright, here we go. The war is over, and let's grab as much of the former Aragonian territory as possible to have a nice little sweep here across the coastline. Grab the French holdings, Navarra, and there we go. That should be fine for the first peace deal. Let's also try and get them to annul their alliance with Portugal, and bam, there we go. Very easy, very easy. Very easy. Now I just want to say, because we just finished our Roman ideas with core creation cost minus 25%. We have another minus 25% from adaptability, and because we have Jupiter, we have another minus 10%. So coring right now is extremely cheap and is a little overpowered, to be honest. Alright, here we go, with the war now successfully accomplished, successfully waged. We have unlocked a new mission, Spagna Tarraconense. Spagna Tarraconense. Our control of the Mediterranean can never be complete as long as we have interlopers like the Spanish around. We must assert our power along the eastern Iberian coast and stop the Spanish from infringing on our sea. And for this, we gain 3 mercantilism, 2 years of trade income, gain permanent claim on Iberia, a bunch of center of trade. Very wonderful. So there we go. Our conquest of the Mediterranean is basically complete. We almost encircled the entirety of the Mediterranean except for these 4 or 5 provinces over here, which we'll take care of shortly. But other than that, the Mediterranean is now fully encircled. It is basically our little lake, except for some, like for example Corfu, which I still haven't gotten around to dealing with because they're in a coalition permanently against me. There's also Crete, which I think Crete we could actually get in on. Let's get on Crete very shortly. Then we have Genoa over here with Crete and Commonwealth. I'm probably gonna have to break that alliance with the Commonwealth. And other than that, there's still Venice over here with allied with the Knights. There's the Knights. So I think it would be prudent if I clean up a little bit here while we are waiting for the coalition to disperse. All right, here we go. We managed to clean up the islands a little bit over here, all ceded to Byzantium. Very wonderful. But then we have a new decision, repurposing the Duomo di Milano. And what does it say? Now that we have restored the city of Rome, we look to other former Roman cities to bring back into their glory. Let's see, we lose a bunch of money and administrative power, and what do we get? Oh, that's a long text. If you want to read it, then I'll pause for a little second and you can read it. There we go. And Mediolanum renamed to Mediolanum, the capital of Mediolanum, destroys the great project Duomo di Lama builds the great project Domus Belisari. What does Domus Belisari do? Mediolanum. No, that's Mantua here, Mediolanum's here, Domus Belisari. So it does development cost rate, power modifier, production efficiency, tax modifier, national tax modifier, administrative efficiency. Whoa, this is really good. Okay, looks like I know what I'll be spending my money on then. This is really good. This is really good. Okay then, well, that's something to think about a little bit. But it's time to get a move on, and let's deal with Aquilino. Oh shit, they're in the coalition. Never mind, let's not deal with Aquilino. It's strange. How large is the coalition, by the way? Wow, okay. Okay. Looks like we'll be bouncing back between the Mamluks and the Castilians then, because the rest of Europe and almost the entirety of the known world, we know about a whole bunch of the world, but the rest of Europe is not happy with me. The rest of Europe is definitely not happy with me. Damn. Okay, well, I see how it is. So we'll be bouncing back between the Castilians and the Mamluks for a while, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But our truce has ended with the Portuguese, so let's go after the Portuguese here for a little bit. Let me just quickly build up an army over here. 25-5, very basic, and then we can call in the Commonwealth, the Hussite Commonwealth. Very strange, but we can call on the Commonwealth, and we can start the process of reconquering the few provinces that still aren't within our grasp in the Mediterranean. We can call in Denmark. Let's go, and yeah, let's get on with it. Let's trust the process of conquest. Let us get on with this dirty business, and let's. How many soldiers do they have, by the way? 44k. Well, that's fine. They're probably all over the world, probably somewhere in the New World. These armies are. So let's just start sieging without any sort of remorse or any sort of second thought. We can just start sieging because I believe a majority of the Portuguese army is going to be somewhere around the world, not necessarily in the Mediterranean or in Europe. But let's see, and their navy is very much dominant compared to mine. Okay, never mind. I thought I'd have a cheeky little. Yeah, they have a lot of heavy ships. Okay, never mind. I thought I'd pull some maneuvers, but it looks like I won't be pulling anything except the bottom of the sea. Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. I'll be pulling nothing except the bottom of the sea, And yeah, regional camp. Where? In Rome. Okay, we don't have a regional camp in Rome, so let's build one. There we go, regimental camp. And yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles, so let's get on with this war. But I have just completed another mission, which is adapt our military. The current state of our military is the result of centuries of development. Due to the unification efforts, the recruitment standards and tradition tend to differ from, say, state to state. We need to take some time and reform the system and our current needs. Adapt the condottieri, which gives us a bunch of mercenary bonuses, or focus on the fire or land fire damage plus 10. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then we can defend the Alpine defenses. Italy's natural borders in the north is the Alps, but the Alps alone cannot stop invading armies. Well, yeah, Hannibal just crossed them. We must ensure that adequate defenses are in place to prevent enemy armies from marching through Alpine passes into our lands. What does this give us? It gives us military engineer, 67% cheaper. Well, that's a little bit of a strange number. And strengthen fortification instead makes it no longer max and making it so expand fortification gives better bonuses and some army tradition. Well, let's employ this 67% cheaper guy, and let's make him level 5. In fact, let's make our advisors as high as possible. We can afford it. We'll be bumping that guy up very shortly, and let's get the new units. Let's look at our infantry, how they look. Very Roman, very cool. Yes, very cool. Okay. Well, yeah, let's get on with the war. Okay, the war is finished, so let's decide what sort of peace deal we'll have, and I'm probably just gonna take there's actually gold money to have a lot, so we're gonna focus on Africa over here. Probably just gonna take the coastline. And we might want actually to get something from the mainland, but probably not. Probably let's just focus on Africa and get the entirety of the Portuguese holdings in Africa, possibly the Isles over here, and that would be fine. Yeah, that would be just fine. And now I don't have enough admin to core. Oh well. But we completed another mission. Follow the coast. The once serene Roman Carthage has been reduced to few squabbling states engaging in piracy. The tolerance for such vile acts has run out. And it gives us a bunch of money. A skilled commandant of this Roman heritage, very nice. An admiral with 70 tradition, very nice. So a bunch of money and some naval bonuses, very good. Alright, well, our truce with the Ottomans has just ended. Let's get this somewhere else. And let's declare war for Homs, for example. Homs, and let's get to it. Let's get these sieges going. And let's crush the Mamluks once and for all, even though we probably won't be able to obviously take 100% of their territory in this war. We still should make some fine progress. And yeah, there's a missionary working here. Let's cancel that, even though he's almost done. But let's start coring, because we are dangerously almost overextended, and that's not good. That's definitely not good. So let's get this. Let's get this siege going. Let's go down to their capital and let's siege them out. Or at least let's siege them out as much as possible, because we really don't want them joining any sort of coalition. And okay, don't want them joining any sort of coalition. That would be very annoying, to be sure. And yeah, let's just get going. Alright, since our truce with the Castilians is about to run out, I think this is as good a time as any to just call it with the Mamluks. And let's just get the Nile, let's just get the coast of the Nile, and let's get Cyprus to the Byzantines. And yeah, for the time being, that's fine. Let's cancel some subjects up there, get some money from them. Bam, there we go. No need for it to be any sort of major grab. I think we grabbed enough, and I also don't want to be extremely overextended, because we still have to capture we still have to fight a war against the Castilians, which will probably be quite punitive, and it's going to be quite annoying, so we should get on to that as soon as possible. But luckily, because of all of our bonuses for coring, we can core very easily, very cheaply. And let's get on to business with the Castilians. Yep, time for another war against the Castilians. Let's now go for Toledo. There we go. Let's call in Denmark. Yep, this should also reset our truce with Portugal, which would be mighty useful. Let's also march on with our Portuguese. A little expedition. Try to get to Portugal. We can't because we do not have military access. Did Portugal not accept the call? No, Portugal did not accept the call. Very interesting, very interesting. Right, printing press. Let's get down to business to get the printing press. Zagrabia, so that's just Zagreb. Okay, let's where is it? Encourage development. Let's give them a parliament seat, why not? And let's get to it. Let's spawn the printing press. There we go, we spawned the printing press. And so we should have it relatively quickly, but let's finish the war against Castile, and I think that's gonna be it for today. Alright, so we have won the war basically. There's still a few hangovers, but I think what I would like to do is actually... Oh, we can't cancel colonial subjects. It's very sad. It's very sad. So never mind, then we won't probably do anything of this sort. But what we could do is just grab a bunch of territory as much as possible. Even though we get a little overextended, it doesn't matter. It will leave them with 3 provinces over here. No money, but we basically captured the entirety of Spain in one war because of our various bonuses that we have now. The coalition is definitely going to be mad, but whatever. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the second episode, and we'll be back next time when we will probably tackle the issue of France and Germania. Yes, indeed. Well, anyway, thanks, Kings, for watching, and I'll see you next time.